iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to the show. Tonight we got a great one here. We have the ASRC Pro Late Models here for qualifying. Looks like we got our first cars rolling out on the Speedway for qualifying. Group number one looking like the following. We got the 3M of Bobby Manley rolling out on the Speedway, Steve Hoffman, and Tucker Holliday. So first car we're going to be taking a look at here is the 3M machine. That is Bobby Manley. He's on the clock as he throws it down into turn number one. See the ruts already forming here at the Cedar Lake Speedway, hopping all through that corner, but lap number one here in the books for Bobby Manley. Lap number one will be a 13.33. He'll try a little bit lower here on entry this time, and we'll see what Bobby can do here off of turn number four to the flag stand. Manley lap number two, not as good. He'll stay with the 3-3. Also out here on the Speedway is the 23 machine of Stephen Hoffman. Hoffman out here in real life in his B mod. Had a lot of body work after 1 week, but got back on out there and having some pretty decent runs in the real life stuff. Coming over here on the sim stuff right now, sits P number two of the three cars out here for group number one. Also on this group should be the 16 machine of Tucker Holliday, but have not seen him as Hoffman improves to 3.5, just 0.02 of a second off of Bobby Manley, who is quick time at the moment. We got group number two here locked and loaded. Group number two looking like the following. We got Blake Steele, looks like rolling out here first with Cam Tucker and Joseph Grandy. So all three of these cars rolling out on the Speedway. The first car we're taking a look at, very dark, ghosted on in there, is the 11 on the side of the car. This is Blake Steele off of turn number four. Steele is on the clock here. Very similar line to that Manley first lap. Hopping through 1 and 2 though. These ruts very bad at Cedar Lake, so we'll probably see cars starting to slide up on the Speedway here very quickly. But Steele, lap number one here in the books. He will push on up, but only be good for a 3.8, as Cam Tucker also out here on the Speedway in the 53 machine. Joseph Grandy right now, quick time with a 13.25. He goes to top of the board as Cam Tucker ties Blake Steele with a 13.38. But we got to look at this 5.8 machine. He's grayed out as well. He's got a new wrap on the car, and it is sporty. Joseph Grandy right now, quick time here at Cedar Lake as Blake Steele goes second quick with a 13.26. And now Cam Tucker just beats Joseph Grandy for the quick time. So Tucker right now in the 53 machine at the top of the board. So times maybe picking up here, folks, as we get our next cars out rolling on the Speedway. It looks like the first car in the hot chute is the 38 ASRC machine. That is the fan favorite Dave Payton rolling out here on the Speedway. Payton coming into the season just hoping for top 10s tonight. A little bit lighter of a car count, so Payton trying to walk away maybe with a top 5, maybe even a podium if things happen his way. But right now, lap number 1, Dave Payton in the 38 is on the clock here. Down the backstretch for the first time, Payton way up in the marbles here. He's in the loose stuff. We'll see what kind of lap time it does. Everyone was down low. Maybe Payton trying to wind up for this lap, as first lap definitely a throwaway lap. We'll see if he improves here on lap number 2, as Payton not the slowest. Everyone kind of winding it up to let it rip on lap number 2. Payton, lap number 2 in the books. He will go to a 13.33. That sits a P number 4. Also out on the Speedway, the FMF Rapid Graphics machine of Aaron Kirby, the 91 out here on the Speedway. Right now sits P number 3, tied with the fast times with a 13.25. Also out here on the Speedway, the Northside Towing 88 machine of Chuck Darling, the Flounder out here. Darling sits right now P number 8, not quite getting that thing dialed in for qualifying, but he'll try and get that thing up to speed for our race time here as the car rolling out on the Speedway. It's the Deuce. Brian Hacker out here with the Carbon Junction machine. Hacker hasn't had the best of luck here with this group. He's hoping to find some luck and park it down in victory lane here tonight at Cedar Lake. Hacker definitely a wheelman on the dirt side. Just needs that little bit of luck that the dirt guys need to find his way to victory lane as Hacker lap number 1 in the books here for the 2. Hacker will go P number 7, 13.33. These times very close to each other here as Hacker lap number 2 here out on the Speedway. Also, we got T-Matt himself out here. Trevor Mattingly out here on the Speedway. He's still got his red, white, blue scheme out here, and he's looking for some speed here. Lap number 1 definitely wound that thing on up, but not the lap he was looking for. 13.36, so Mattingly might be starting deeper in this field than what he wants. He's, of course, in that points battle with the 151 of Jacob Lester. As Mattingly does improve here on lap number 3, he goes to P number 6, as that will wrap up this group for qualifying and get ready for our last group with Jacob Lester, Ron Hart. As we get the 51 here, we got both 51s out here in the final group. That is Jacob Lassiter and Ron Hart. Lassiter first car out here, Ron Hart in this group, and I believe Tucker Holliday is getting his 16 machine out here on the Speedway. So now, though, Lassiter is on the clock here in qualifying. Lassiter did not get that front end set in 1 and 2, so we'll see if he throws away this lap. He does not. He'll keep his foot in it, keep it down just on the loose stuff there. Seems like everyone's running that line here as Lassiter lap number 1, 13.49. We'll see if he improves here on lap number 2. Lassiter off a turn number 4. He will, in fact, improve it with a 13.42. Also out on the Speedway, it's the other 51 machine. That is Ron, the Hitman Hart out here. Ron Hart trying to find some speed. Looks like this track going away in a hurry as Ron Hart tries to maneuver it. Tucker Holliday is supposed to be out here in an earlier session. Gets his machine at least race ready as he's out on the Speedway, but him going later definitely affecting this qualifying time as Tucker Holliday sets P number 13 as he now jumps up. Makes me eat my words as he puts a P number 8 with a 13.31. So Holliday finding a little bit of speed, but it looks like it will be Brandon Marlowe in the 37 machine. I have no clue when he did that. We missed him on the coverage. Brandon Marlowe in the last group with Brian Hacker, Trevor Manley. He goes quick time as that will now do it as Holiday off at turn number 4. That will do it here in qualifying as Brandon Marlowe walks away here tonight with the quick time. So Marlowe sitting P3 in points, looking for a good run here tonight. And so far, he's got the best view in the house, leading the field to green here in heat race number 1. We'll go through tonight's starting order for heat race number 1 here tonight. Brandon Marlowe, like I said, quick time here, will be leading us to green. Starting to his outside, Joseph Grandy with a great qualifying effort in the 518 machine. He will start outside front row. Row number 2, Blake Steele in the 11 will start third, with Dave Payton in the 38 to his outside. Starting 5th is Bobby Manley in the 3M, with Stephen Hoffman in the 23 starting 6th. And then on the back road, you don't see this too often, folks. Jacob Laster in the 151 will start shotgun here in heat race number 1 here tonight. So it looks like we'll have, I believe, 2 heat races here tonight, both being made up of 7 cars. That means top 4 locking themselves into the main event, and everyone else racing for the starting spots from 9th on back. We get the 1 to go signal here as Brandon Marlowe, part of that Hot Lap Hero stable, will be leading the field to the green flag here. These guys ready to go. We had an off week last week for the 4th of July. These guys ready to go back to racing. Off at turn number 4. Brandon Marlowe on the loud pedal. We go green flag racing here in heat race number 1. Marlowe away with a great start here. Grandy under pressure from Blake Steele. Bobby Manley, a piece of the inside tires. Manley trying to make that inside line work. Dave Payne stuck to the top side. Stephen Hoffman trying to find some room as top 3 single filed out. Now Bobby Manley trying to get that spot. He does get around Dave Payne for P number 4. So top 4 lock on in, of course, to the main event. Everyone else having to race the last chance. No one getting sent home here tonight. We're racing for position. As Dave Payne almost gets love tap from Hoffman. Hoffman had to get on the binders hard. That opens up the door for Laster. Laster creeping around this bottom side, trying to make the pass for P number 6 as everyone else running in that soft, fluffy stuff. Not quite the marbles up top, but definitely moving up this racing line as we get to the halfway mark here already here in heat race number 1. So far, clean to green. Brandon Marlowe trying to check out in front of Joseph Grandy. He's got about a half a second advantage here with 3 laps to go. Bobby Manley trying to reel in Blake Steele. Those two having not the best feelings for each other throughout the season, as we'll see if a race develops between those two. But Jacob Laster, Stephen Hoffman still trying to figure out the 6th spot as Laster, oh man, big time hit for Jacob Laster. Not sure what happened to that car, but that was a hard hit. He gets off the racing surface in time as we see the white flag here in heat race number 1. Brandon Marlowe down the backstretch here for the final time. And off the turn number 4, Brandon Marlowe picks up the heat win here tonight. Joseph Grandy in 2nd. Blake Steele rounds out the top 3 here for heat race number 1. As we now get ready to line up heat race number 2 and keep the show rolling here for the race fans here tonight from the Cedar Lake Speedway. Of course, this is race number 9 of our 13-week season. So we have 4 races left, including this one, to decide a champion. It's going to be a tight one, to say the least, as Trevor Mattingly trying to increase that lead. He will find himself in this one as Laster did not get the heat race he wanted there. As we get ready now for heat race number 2. Leading the field to green, Cam Tucker, almost quick time here tonight. He'll see the front of the field, though. He'll lead us to green. Starting to his outside on the front row will be the 91 machine of Aaron Kirby. Row number 2 being made up of Trevor Mattingly in the 13T, with Tucker Holliday in the 16 starting in 4th. 5th going to Brian Hacker in the 2 with Ron Hart in the 51 starting in 6th. Rounding out heat race number 2 here tonight, starting shotgun on the field, is the 88 machine that is being piloted by the flounder, Chuck Darling. As that will do it, we're waiting for, it looks like, 1 car to get on the raceway, and it looks like he misses it. So that will move Ron Hart up into P number 4 on this restart, as still Cameron Tucker will be leading the field to the green flag here tonight. This is, of course, heat race number 2 coming at you live here from the Cedar Lake Speedway. Thanks again to all the viewers tuning on in here tonight, as we got a lot of great racing. Cedar Lake, one of my favorite tracks. This thing, always a fun place to race. Always puts on some great racing action, as throughout the race we'll see that line, that groove move all the way up to the wall, or we'll see some people committed to running those tires on the inside. A lot of choices here tonight, and we'll see which one is the best here. But this heat race probably going to be that middle line. We saw heat race number 2 being dominated by it. I assume everyone's going to be fighting for that middle line here, as off of turn number 4, the iRacers pace truck jumps on the loud pedal. Now Cam Tucker on it. We go green flag racing here for heat race number 2. Tucker just clears Kirby in the corner. Kirby trying to stay to his outside, but here comes Trevor Mattingly. They go door to door here into turn number 3. Side by side, Kirby up top, Trevor Mattingly down low. Kirby has the momentum, able to hang on that spot. Now tries to set his sights on Cam Tucker for this race lead. You keep the eye on this battle. 3 cars for this race lead. And also now creeping into the picture, it's a 2 machine, Brian Hacker. He's trying to throw his name in the hat here, as he gets all over the back bumper here of Trevor Mattingly. These lap times, of course, flying on by here, folks. We have 3 laps in, 5 laps to go. Coming this time by cross flags here in the heat races. 3 wide just about here, as now Brian Hacker to the inside of Trevor Mattingly for P number 3. Hacker trying to get that front end set. Can't get it quite set. Doesn't have as much banking as that middle line, so Hacker has to regather stuff and go on the attack. And there, Kirby all over the back bumper of Cam Tucker for this race lead. Tucker trying to pick up his first heat win of the season. He's trying to hang on to it in that 53 machine. Kirby right there getting the pressure, and Trevor Mattingly right there as well, in case either of those drivers make a mistake. 2 laps to go here in this race. These guys all on top of each other. You could throw a blanket over these 3 cars, as we see the white flag. Cam Tucker just has to string together 2 more corners, and he'll be starting on the front row here. A little loose off of turn number 2, but he'll dive it down there, take away that line off of turn number 4. Cam Tucker picks up heat win number 2 here tonight. Aaron Kirby 2, P number 3, and Trevor Mattingly up into P number 3. So that will do it for heat racing here, as we get ready for our B main. This, of course, 6 cars in here. These drivers racing for positions 9th on back here in the race. So nobody's going home here from this race, but just racing for starting position and getting a little bit of extra track time. B main looking like the following, folks. Dave Payton in the 38 ASRC machine. He has a few B main wins here this season. He might try and go for another. He'll start on the pole. Starting to his outside is the 51 of Ron Hart. Row number 2 be made up with Stephen Hoffman in the 23, with Chuck Darling in the 88 starting in 4th. Then the back row, some hot shoes there. Jacob Laster in the 151 will roll off 5th, with Tucker Holliday in the 16 machine rolling off shotgun on the field. Holliday, of course, missing that heat race. Going to start very deep in the field. Alrighty, folks, none of these drivers going home here from this race, so we won't have a wave lap, not sending anyone home. As Dave Payne in the 38 will lead the field to the green flag here. As like I mentioned, folks, this just sets up for our main event, our starting positions, as Dave Payne getting ready to jump on it here. These drivers, of course, doing 10 laps here tonight for the B main. Dave Payton on the loud pedal here. We go green flag racing here at Cedar Lake. Sorry, 12 laps here for the last chance race. Payton gets away with a great start. He's trying to check on out. We go a little bit further back. Holiday trying to find some traction. He goes way up, almost underneath Stephen Hoffman there. Holiday had to check up big time, but he's trying to get back to this front as quickly as he can. Man, Jacob Laster still struggling with the handling of this 51 machine. Not sure if they have something broken on that car, maybe set up down too much, but Laster trying to figure this place out here and having a heck of a time doing it. Just shows you how difficult these things are, as you could go one track, you know, Chili Bowl probably the hardest race. Laster picks up the win there, then comes here tonight and is very much struggling as he will bring that thing pit side, not happy with it. As take a look here, battle for P number 3, Chuck Darling trying to hold off Steve Hoffman. Darling, big hit to the front stretch wall there. That right side pancake down the car. Now more contact between Darling and Hoffman, and that lets Holiday kind of sneak on by down low while those guys continue to door bang here tonight. Looks like Stephen Hoffman finally gets clear of the 88 machine. We'll see if Darling has a little bit of run, but nowhere to go with it. That moves Holiday up into P number 3 out in front. Dave Payne about a half a second advantage over Ron Hart. Hart trying to turn on the loud pedal here, trying to find some traction in the racing groove. Right now, still that middle groove seems to be it tonight. You can see that entry into one slicking on off. I believe we'll see a little bit of that. You see it there into turn number 3 as well. So this middle line starting to go away just a little bit. You see 4 laps to go here tonight for the B main. Dave Payne trying to pad the stats a little bit more. He, of course, picking up a few B main wins here before tonight. He's trying to pick up another here at the Cedar Lake Speedway. Off of turn number 4, Payton will see popsicle sticks here for the B main. 2 laps to go for the 38 machine. Hoffman trying to reel in Tucker Holiday. Holiday trying to make a line up near the top. It's kind of clearing on off, but it's going to be too little too late. At this time, we'll see the white flag. 1 more lap to go here for the B main. I think Holiday will be able to hang on to this spot, but off of turn number 4, Dave Payton will do it again. He will pick up another B main win. Start on the pole. Ron Hart will finish second. Tucker Holiday goes from the back to third. As that will be a popular win. We're going to go to commercial break. On the other side, we'll be talking to our B main winner, that being Dave Payton. So don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back. Alrighty, folks, we come back here to the Cedar Lake Speedway, talking with the man. I heard it kind of mentioned in the stands here as we were trying to run down and talk to this driver. We're going to call him the B main Bandit. That is the 38 machine of Dave Payton. Dave, we heard a... Dave, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, we heard a nickname as we were running down to your pit stall here for this interview. I'm hearing you being called the B main Bandit. I think this is your 3rd B main win, Dave. How you feeling?
I mean, it's pretty much the only thing I can win with this group, so I feel pretty good about it.
Tonight at Cedar Lake, definitely a tricky track with how wide and how many grooves you can run. You got the tires that you got to be careful of down low, and of course, the wall comes up very quickly, especially off of turn number 2. I mean, what's the game plan for you, and how are you going to keep all 4 fenders on this car?
So my whole focus here tonight, I really got to figure out this tire wear thing. I'm getting beat badly, and I'm burning off the right rear, and I can't quite figure out what I'm doing wrong. So I think the plan is to kind of try and hang around the back, try and keep up with the pack. And no, I'm not rapping right now, but I try and keep, but kind of hang back and see how the track develops. And I'm really bad here on the high side, so I'm hoping that the bottom sort of comes in at some point and try and save the tire, and maybe, you know, in the final quarter of the race, try and make some moves. But so I'm trying to make this into kind of a learning situation to try and figure out how to save the right rear, because I'm way out to lunch on that.
Yeah, Dave, these cars still fairly new. I mean, what have you learned on the dirt side of things to figure out these tires? Because, I mean, still fairly new, and like you said, you know, tire wear a big talk of the town, especially on the dirt these days.
Yeah, well, I'm not the right guy to ask, because I'm just burning them down to the rims every race. But I mean, I don't think it's a whole lot has changed compared to. Sorry, I got race control in my other ear. Let me mute him. Okay. So you know, the old way was always keep the car as straight as you can and be careful on the throttle, and I don't think that's really changed too much with the tire model. I think you get hurt more if you don't do that than you used to. So it used to be that way, you know, to try and just keep up momentum. Now you got to try and keep the car as straight as you can and take it easy on the throttle to not burn the tires off. So so far that's pretty much what I've learned. I just, every time I think I'm doing it and I'm doing okay, towards the end of the race I'm going backwards, and when I check the tire wear after the race, it's always, you know, a healthy bit worse than everybody else. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I was going to say, Dave, a long race here tonight, 75 laps around this place. I mean, tires, of course, big talk, but, I mean, that is a lot to manage here tonight. And, Dave, here, I think we're wrapping on up. We appreciate the insights from our B-main winner. Before we let you go, I'm going to hand over the mic and thank who you got to thank here before you turn you loose for these 75 laps.
Yeah, thanks to Brett for broadcasting. ASRC's on the car, so got to thank the league. Thanks to Zach for putting all the work in and letting us go out here and letting me make a fool on myself and not kicking me out. So glad I'm still here.
There you go, folks. The B-main bandit, Dave Payne. Best of luck here in the future event. You'll be rolling off P number 9.
Thanks, Brett.
Alrighty, folks. That was Dave Payton here, the B-main bandit, picking up another B-main win here at Cedar Lake Speedway as we get ready now to head over to our main event. Hopefully everyone's used the bathroom, got some snacks, because we're going to have 75 laps of action-packed racing you won't want to miss here in a few short minutes. As, of course, while we got a moment, we got to give a huge shout-out to, he was mentioned there by Dave, Zach Heiser, our admin here at ASRC, putting on this great series, and, of course, being the one to promote this stuff and, you know, make it run as good as he does. So huge shout out to Zach Heiser. Be sure, if you want to keep up to your short track racing action throughout the year, be sure to tune into Horsepower Happenings on all the major podcast platforms, as they do a lot of great talking points, a lot of great in-depth race analysis to keep you up to date, especially on the Midwest side of things. Now we head down trackside to head through tonight's starting order for race number 9 from Cedar Lake. Brandon Marlowe with the quick time will lead the field to the green flag. Starting to his outside is Cam Tucker in the 53 machine. Tucker hoping for his first career win. He's starting in a great spot on the front row. Row number 2 being made up of 518. That is being piloted by Joseph Grandy with Aaron Kirby in the 91 machine. He starts in a great spot as well. Blake Steele rolls off P number 5 in the 11. That guy you got to keep an eye on during these races. He always finds his way to the front, starting near the front this time. To his outside is our points leader, Trevor Mattingly. T-Matt in the 13T. Then P number 7 is his uncle. In the 3, that is Bobby Mattingly. Brian Hacker in the 2 will start on his outside in P number 8. Then we head to our B main runners. Dave Payton, our B main winner, rolling off P number 9 with Ron Hart in the 51 in 10. 11th going to Stephen Hoffman in 12th. Tucker Holliday 11th, Stephen Hoffman 12th. 13th is Chuck Darling in the 88 with Jacob Laster in the 151 in 14th. That will do it here. That was the wave lap here for everyone, folks. As next time by, we are going green flag racing here tonight at the Cedar Lake Speedway. Up front, the iRacing pace truck will jump on the loud pedal here and get on off the speedway. But Brandon Marlowe leading the field to the green flag. He will jump on the loud pedal now, get a great start over Cam Tucker. We go green flag racing as that run dives down into turn number 1. Marlowe already trying to check on out further on back. We keep an eye side by side as Joseph Grandy tries to get clear of Cam Tucker. Grandy very sideways off the corner as Cam Tucker had to be a little cautious not to get in the back of the 518. As Grandy doing a great job keeping that car as wide as possible, not letting anyone get to that top side. Oh, Cam Tucker got tagged a little by Aaron Kirby. That could have been bad. As Bobby Manley trying to work over the nephew. Trevor Manley trying to ride on board. I believe we see the 13T of Trevor Manley taking it easy right now, saving those tires, and then starting to turn up the wick a little bit later as it looks like Trevor Manley falling on back but keeping that car very straight here tonight. He's trying to keep that right rear underneath that car, not trying to yaw it out more than he needs to burn off that right rear here early. Got pressure though. Brian Hacker working that inside in the 2 machine. These two have been side by side, I want to say the last 3 laps, and it doesn't look like it's ending anytime soon. Looks like Hacker just slowly inching in front of him, and that time Hacker will clear him. So Hacker now sets his sights on Bobby Manley and a 3M for P number 6. Trevor Manley trying to go to the low side here, but up towards the front. Cam Tucker still hanging on to P number 3. Aaron Kirby still trying to give chase. He hangs right there as well. So far these laps clicking on down here in a hurry. But we got a battle for the race lead. Joseph Grandy has caught Brandon Marlowe and keeping the pressure on the 37 machine. 518 to Grandy, 37 to Marlowe. Grandy trying to make that inside line work a little bit lower in the corners, just getting that banking on that right rear. But he has been on it since the drop of the green flag, and he's trying to take over the race lead here early in this race. So now, if you are Marlowe, do you know you got maybe guys saving tires big time towards the back, or do you try and hang on to this track position, keep the race lead? As that is a tough call you got to make as a driver, but Marlowe doing a great job here, not yawing that car out, taking it nice and easy, and still hanging on to the race lead as Joseph Grandy all over the back bumper of that car. He's trying to find some momentum as we jump on board with our race leader. Looking on back here. He's on board with Brandon Marlowe. Best time at 13.64. Last time by 13.8, so shows they'll drop off here in the laps. As Marlowe continues to get pounded by Grandy here. We jump on board with Grandy, looking now the other side of the battle, riding on board with the right front GoPro, hanging on to that right front Nerf bars. Grandy comes in with a big slider, and he will clear him. New race leader Joseph Grandy goes to the top here tonight. So Grandy leads the point. Marlowe falls to second. Cam Tucker still hanging on to third. A little bit further back, Tucker Holiday trying to race through this field. He started deep in tonight's field, up only 1 spot though. He's starting to turn that up as Trevor Manley has dropped big time here. He is saving big time here tonight on these tires and has fallen all the way back here to P number 11. So falls outside of the top 10. So you got to wonder what this strategy is. Stephen Hoffman, one of the biggest movers here tonight, that 23 machine up 4 spots from where he started as he tries to work over now the 38 machine of Dave Payne. Hoffman, one of the few trying to work just above those inside infield tires here. They got Blake Steele right here in front of him as well. That Steele trying to make up both lanes. Payton trying to find an opening up top. Hoffman trying to look low of the 11. It's already 21 laps in the book of the 75. We're closing in on 50 to go. You got to wonder, when does Trevor Madley turn up the wick? Same with Tucker Holiday. Holiday right here in the back. You can see Madley out in the distance behind this battle here on the Speedway. As Payton will throw it down to this inside, try and go to the inside of the 11. Can't quite get the traction off the corner, so Payton will fall back in line, go to the top side, try and regain that momentum. Brandon Marlowe now under fire. Aaron Kirby has got around Cam Tucker for P number 2, and now setting the sights on the runner-up driver of Brandon Marlowe. Kirby trying to have a solid run here tonight. His season started off not the way he wanted it to, but right now he's found his stride and looking very good in that 91 machine. Aaron Kirby hoping for a podium and talking to us here after the race, as now we get 50 laps to go here tonight at the Cedar Lake Speedway. And Aaron Kirby slide job city in 3 and 4, just like Joseph Grandy got around Marlowe. He goes on around, so Aaron Kirby up into P number 2 as Joseph Grandy has checked out here to about 2.5 second advantage over the field. He has caught some lap traffic, that being Ron Hart in the 51 machine. Further on back, we got some battles going on in the Speedway. Now Cam Tucker under fire from Bobby Madley. He will clear the pass, and Cam Tucker will shut the door on Brian Hacker. Hacker trying to get through the field as well. Hacker, another guy moving in the right direction here. He gets to the inside of Cam Tucker. So Tucker and Marlowe kind of on the same strategy, hanging on, just running their line. As man, Tucker had to get on the binders hard for Marlowe on that top side. Almost got in the back of him. That opens up the door now big time for Brian Hacker to get on around his. Bobby Madley has moved around both those race cars and sits P number 3. So Brian Hacker here door to door with Brandon Marlowe. Off of turn number 4, it looks like he'll clear him. Will he shut the door? Yes, he will. Brian Hacker up into P number 4. And now Dave Payton, our B main winner, is on the back bumper of this battle here. As Cam Tucker maybe says, all right, I'm done waiting behind the 37. It's time to turn it up a little bit. He's trying to get around Marlowe. Maybe Marlowe trying to sail it on in there. As Dave Payton sideways through this corner. He says it's go time here. As Payton trying to save a lot of tire, but it is go time. As Trevor Madley now back in the top 10. He sits P number 8. He's turning up the wick here tonight. Let's jump on board here with our points leader. Jumping on board with Trevor Madley. His best lap time only a 13.8, so 2/10 slower to the best of, our race leader Joseph Grandy or whatnot. So that shows you how much from the beginning of the race these guys were taking it easy, as Trevor Madley gets right on the back bumper of Marlowe and will sail it on by, hang it down low, and try and even get around the 38 machine of Dave Payton. As you see Payton get that run off the corner. Trevor Madley coming up through the field. That is bringing along Tucker Holiday as well. Both those guys were like 11th and 12th on the Speedway. Now both of them right next to each other trying to cut up this field here tonight. This time by for Joseph Grandy. He will see cross flags here tonight at Cedar Lake. Halfway down, halfway home. And if we go flag to flag, Grandy could pick up this win, as he has a hefty advantage over the rest of the field. Maybe tire saving isn't the way to go if it goes green, as Grandy does not want to see that yellow cloth come out here tonight. Guys banking on the yellow to bunch everyone back up are these two drivers we're looking at right now. Trevor Madley, Tucker Holiday, both of them sitting deep in the top 10, but trying to get around now our B main winner of Dave Payton. And with a little bit, we're going to keep an eye just a little bit more, but here in a second, folks, we're going to do some turn 3, turn it up, but some teammates here battling for P number 2. Bobby Madley has reeled in Aaron Kirby. This could be a battle for second, as now Brian Hacker in there as well. Bobby Manley on the top side. We're power on by the 91 machine, and Bobby Manley will take over P number 2 here tonight at the Cedar Lake Speedway. So now Aaron Kirby, you got to wonder, is that car starting to go away a little bit? He now is under pressure from the 2 machine. That is flying Brian Hacker. Hacker gets to the inside of the 91 machine. What kind of run does he get off the corner? Not the greatest, but a lot shorter distance around the speedway here down low. Also up top, it looks like next group being led by Cam Tucker. He's on the loud pedal up on this top side. He's trying to make it work up there and trying to find some traction. Big time sideways off of turn number 4 for Tucker. That could open up the door for Mattingly, or maybe even Holiday. As Holiday and Mattingly go door to door here with the 53 machine right in front of them. Aaron Kirby under fire from Brian Hacker still. Hacker, not quite a slide job yet. I would think here, once he gets a big run, he's got to sail it on in here and try and slide him. That time, not quite clear. Aaron Kirby will have a little bit of momentum up on the top side. This time, though, Hacker will clear Kirby for P number 3, so that puts Aaron Kirby outside of the top 5. We look a little bit further back. Trevor Manley gets around Cam Tucker. Same with Tucker Holiday now, as Cam Tucker tries to their crossover here, but it looks like won't be enough. There's a lot of great racing going on through. Here's Brandon Marlowe trying to creep around this inside line. He's getting passed by Dave Payne and maybe even Stephen Hoffman. So Marlowe goes from leading this race here at the start of the green flag now all the way back down to P number 10, maybe even P number 11. Out in front, the man to beat, Joseph Grandy. His lead has fallen away though. He had about a 4-second advantage when Bobby Mattingly had taken over P number 2. Now Mattingly is up into about 2.5 seconds left. Last time by was a 14.2. Joseph Grandy's last time by was a 14.4, so about 0.2 slower for our race leader last compared to second place last time, 14.5. Bobby Mattingly of 14.3, so about 0.2 stay the distance as Mattingly closing up the gap. He's looking for, I believe, his first win, as well as we look further on back. Dave Payne and Stephen Hoffman still dicing it on up, but with a little bit low in the action. We're going to do some turn 3, turn it up, folks. Crank up those speakers. We're going to let the cars do some talking. To the battle for the race lead. Bobby Manley crosses, slide job on Joseph Grandy. Grandy will cross him back over. Battle for the race lead here tonight at the Cedar Lake Speedway. They are throwing slide jobs here with 15 laps to go as Bobby Manley has reeled in the race leader. Joseph Grandy now trying to fight with whatever he has left on those tires in the 518 machine. Grandy will try and slide him up. Bobby Manley has a nose. He'll keep it on the top side, keep it wound up, and he will take over the point. New race leader, Bobby Manley sets the field here. Joseph Grandy's now got to watch out for Trevor Mattingly as he's about 2 seconds back with 15 laps to go. He's trying to reel these guys in. Does he have enough time? as it looks like he will get around the lapper of Chuck Darling here. But Bobby Manley trying to park it in victory lane for the first time here tonight. As we look a little bit further back, Jacob Laster, he's hoping for a late race yellow, but very patient, hanging out around, running his own pace. He finds himself in the top 10 for the first time here tonight. He sits P number 8 here at the Cedar Lake Speedway. Also further on back, Tucker Holliday, a little bit of pressure from the 11 of Blake Steele. Blake Steele once again back in the top 5, trying to add another top 5 to the schedule. One car on the wall, that is Chuck Darling in 88 machine. I believe Darling will take it pit side as no, a yellow flag will come out as Darling looks like that right front on that car off that car, and with that, that will bring out a yellow flag, the first one here tonight. With 10 laps to go, it's going to be a 10-lap shootout, folks, to decide the winner. I know one guy didn't want to see that yellow. That is Bobby Mattingly, who will now have some very fast cars behind him. As we take a look here, see what happened to Chuck Darling. Looks like got a piece of the wall off of turn number 4, and that's enough to break off the right front. Has no control, and big hit to the tires there for Chuck Darling, as we see debris go all over the speedway. And that will end the night for the 88 machine. But now we head back up to the front. Bobby Mattingly looking for his first win, and he's got some fast cars behind him. Joseph Grant is going to try and hang on with those really worn tires. Trevor Manley, Tucker Holliday, Blake Steele, all these guys saved a good amount of tires and are going to be very hungry here on this restart here tonight. As this time by, it will be a single file restart, since we have it just made it into 10 laps to go, so everyone should be, oh, maybe we get the first double file here, as we do just get the double file. So Delaware double file restart. Bobby Manley out in front. Joseph Grandy elects to take the top side. We'll see how this works out for these drivers, as Bobby Manley through 3 and 4 leading the field to the green flag. He'll jump on the loud pedal here. We go back to green flag racing action here with 10 laps to go. Bobby Manley's got some fast cars behind him. Trevor Manley already door to door for the race lead. He sailed it onto their maiden stick here. He'll jump up to this top side, try and get a run. Further on back, it's 3, almost 4 wide racing as Brian Hackman gets bounced around. He will hang on to it, but lose a lot of spots there with that, as Jacob Laster coming back through this field. He's got some great tires on that car. He was sitting patient, and he drives by Joseph Grandy like he's sitting still. Grandy having a lot of trouble trying to get those rear tires to hook up. He's trying to search for any sort of traction. He will slide it all the way down into the door of Brandon Marlowe as Marlowe tries to hang on to it. Here comes Jacob Laster. He turned on the switch. He's going around Blake Steele for P number 4, maybe to the race lead, as Laster, man, he was struggling. They threw the kitchen sink at this car, and it is paying off. He's making this inside work, and he's heading to the front here with 6 laps to go. Man, where was Tim Rogers, where you needed him to make a big bet on Laster? He could have walked away with a lot of money here tonight, as Jacob Laster door to door for the race lead here tonight. Laster off of turn number 4, gets that thing hooked up somehow down low, and he'll lead the lap. Jacob Laster, new race leader. He will clear Bobby Mattingly there for the race lead. Mattingly's got to be punching that steering wheel, trying to drive the wheels off that car. He sees that race lead walking away from him as he has his nephew trying to work that inside line. Here comes Blake Steele in the 11. 3 wide for P number 2 here at Cedar Lake. Mattingly still able to keep that momentum up on that top side, though. We will see 3 laps to go as Manley still, Bobby Manley sits P number 2, Trevor Manley sits P number 3, Blake Steele trying to hang on to 4th here as he gets right to the back bumper of the 13Z. Some great racing out in front, but this time Jacob Laster sees popsicle sticks up in the air. 2 laps to go as we have Dave Payton take that thing back pit side. He was the lucky dog, but not having the luck here tonight. through 3 and 4. This time, Jacob Laster, where did he come from? He'll see the white flag here tonight. One more lap to go around Cedar Lake. Jacob Laster's just got to put in cruise control. He's got this one, kind of like Chili Bowl. Where did he come from? He will eat away at Trevor Mattingly's points lead. Jacob Laster picks up the win here tonight. Bobby Manley second. Trevor Mattingly rounds out the podium. We'll be talking to all these drivers here tonight as the man of the hour, Jacob Laster, the closer. Where did he come from? We'll be talking to him and ask him just that question here in a little bit. Don't go anywhere, folks. As on the front stretch here, Jacob Laster will park it down in victory lane. We'll be talking to the top 3 here in 1 second, so we'll be right back here after commercial break to interview our top 3. Alrighty, folks, we come back here at the Cedar Lake Speedway. First driver we'll be talking to, he has a lot of podiums, a lot of wins. He will not get another win here tonight, but park it on the podium. Trevor Mattingly, do you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, man, that seemed like a wild race. Did you think you had enough if that race went all green to reel in your uncle Bobby Mattingly for that win?
Well, to be honest, I was going to settle for second there, and that way I didn't have to start in the back next week, to be honest. But Jacob just drove around us like we were sitting still, and there towards the end, I mean, I started pushing it, but I don't think, if that caution hadn't come out, I think we would have been all right, because me and Bobby were pushing it real hard there, because we weren't expecting a caution there, to be honest, and I think we had burnt our tires up a little bit, so it's all good though. Come out with P3, happy with that.
Yeah, Trevor, some good points there for sure as you sit with a pretty comfortable lead up in front, but Laster will make it a little bit closer here now with, I believe, 3 races left after tonight. As Trevor, man, that was very exciting to watch. We saw you fall all the way back to like 10th or 11th at one point. I mean, I assume big time tire saving at the start, and then probably what, lap 30 you guys started to push a little bit to try and pick your way through some of the cars?
Yeah, I wasn't planning on falling back that far, and I just was sticking to my game plan. I was like, I'm not pushing it, and ended up falling back there pretty far, and I was running the high side, just keeping the car as smooth as I could, and once I got on it, I could tell that I had been saving pretty good, because I had pretty good speed there, so up until the last about 10 laps there, that caution, I felt real good. And then Jacob was telling me just now that they were saving pretty heavy back there, so the caution benefited them a lot.
That it
because
did.
They were pretty far back, and their plan was to just save and hope for the caution, and it worked out for them, and that's how racing goes sometimes.
Yeah, it does. It looked like it was going to go green to the end, then we get that one yellow, and that throws this whole race on its lid. I tell you what, Laster had that thing hooked up at the bottom. It seemed like throughout this he didn't have anything, must have threw the kitchen sink to it. But Trevor, I gotta ask, what's the key to tire saving? I made a comment on the broadcast. It looked like your car wasn't even sideways that first, let's say, 20 laps. It seemed like you kept that thing as straight as you could here to save those tires.
To be honest, I haven't ran on the new build. I get on and race these races, so that's the only laps I've been getting on the new build. So from what I've seen past couple weeks we've raced, is the straighter you can keep the car and the more in the tacky, the better. And that's what I was trying to do. And it doesn't matter if you fall back to dead last as long as you stay a lap ahead. I mean, we caught uh, the leader there. He had like a 4-second lead. We ended up running him down just because of tire saving. So it's definitely a huge deal.
Yeah, that it is. As Trevor, once again, huge congrats on another podium. You for sure have the most podiums, most wins once again this season. As Trevor, you look a little bit closer, another race down for your defending championship. As Trevor, coming in next week, we of course go, I believe, to Knoxville. How do you feel about that place?
Knoxville or USA? It's Knoxville, ain't it?
I have on the schedule Knoxville, unless something
Yeah.
changed on my end.
No, I got you. Knoxville's a cool track. I haven't raced it on the new build, so excited to see how that plays out. Definitely need to get on there and run some practice laps because that's a technical track for sure.
That it is, and I remember you, especially last Knoxville, only guy running that inside berm in the slick and making it work like no one else. Says that was a great race to watch. Can't wait to see what you bring next week. As Trevor, before we let you go here tonight, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank on this 13T machine.
Yeah, I got to thank you all for the broadcast and everything, of course, and the league. And on the car, we got team at Speed Shop, Aaron Kirby, FMS Rapid Graphics. Hit him up for a wrap. He does a killer job. This is the July 4th scheme we've got going. Still running it. It's pretty hot. Do say so myself. Who else we got on there? Hot Lap Heroes. All them guys congratulate Jacob on the win. He's been fighting hard for it for sure. So it's awesome to see him catch the dub, and he drove around us like we were sitting still. So congrats to him, and I think that's it, man. Got to thank Bobby and Tanner for all the go-kart help here recently, and yeah.
Alrighty, Trevor, always great talking to you. I'm sure we'll be talking to you a lot more before the season is on over. So you have yourself a great rest of the night, and we'll catch you next week at Knoxville. Alrighty, we now head to our runner-up finisher, that being the 3M machine of Bobby Mattingly. Bobby, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yes, sir. I got you.
Alrighty, Bobby. Man, that caution had to be heartbreaking. Tell us what you thought of and what you're feeling once you saw that yellow cloth fly.
Yeah, I definitely did not want to see that. That kind of took the wind out of my sails there a little bit. I had a decent lead over second place, and I'd say if that caution don't come out, I'd say I'd be sitting up there where Jacob is. But it happened. I finally have a good run, get to talk to you again. So I'll take second.
I was going to say, that's always a good sign of some great progression. You on the podium with the stout group of guys. I mean, we saw a lot of tire saving. I assume you saved, but you seemed one of the earlier cars to kind of let it loose. But man, you reeled down, I think it was Grandy in the 5AT machine, 4 seconds in like 15 laps or whatever. That was impressive to see.
Yeah, me and Trevor and Aaron, of course we were in Discord before, and we kind of came up with a little bit of a game plan between all of us that with about 25 to go, we would conserve up to then, and then it's time to let her go. And I was kind of keeping track of it. I was a tenth or two faster than him, and then when it hit 50 to go, or 25 to go, I'm sorry, I said, well, it's time to go.
Yeah, that you did. You did a great job running him on down. Then we got to talk about the only restart. You start out there in front, keeping those guys at bay behind you, but then Jacob Laster on the inside making a rip. I mean, I don't think anyone could have stopped that thing.
No, he did a better job of saving, and I mean, once I thought I hopefully was going to hold him off, but once he got around me, he just pulled away from me, and I knew my tires were gone, and I was just holding on for second. So I'll definitely take this kind of finish.
Yeah, that is a great finish. Finishing runner up here tonight, Bobby. You got to pat yourself on the back for that one. That was a heck of a run. As Yeah, tell us. I mean, that top side seemed to be where I was at. I assume on that start you knew just go to that top side. Don't let anyone stick a nose up there.
Yeah, it seemed, of course, at the start of the race, I was just trying to roll the bottom, just keep the car straight, keep the car under me and everything. And then it kind of moved to the middle for me a little bit. And then there toward the end, it pretty much, to me, seemed it was topside dominant. So I said, well, I'm going to stay up here. If somebody passes me, they got to pass me on the bottom or wreck me. So Jacob had a better car at the end, and congrats to him, and good run to Trevor as well. And like I said, definitely feels good to be up here talking to you again. I've had a bonehead moves this season, and it's good to finally get up here on the podium talking to you again.
Yeah, that it is, Bobby. Always great having you up here and getting a chat with you. Hopefully you keep this momentum rolling to Knoxville. How do you feel about that place?
I believe it's USA. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think it's Knoxville.
On my schedule, I have you or Knoxville before USA, but maybe it flipped on me. I don't know. Either of those places, how do you feel?
Either or. That's those tracks there are a lot bigger. It's all about momentum, keeping the car straight as you can. What I like to use as a term is try to be a June bug on a string. Just be consistent and just keep your momentum up. Don't get the car sideways, and hopefully with the setup and everything, hopefully we can do that and maybe be back up on this podium again.
Yeah, hopefully, Bobby, as you keep this momentum rolling, a second place finish always got to feel good. But before we let you go here tonight and celebrate this runner-up finish, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank on this 3M machine.
I've got to thank Big Al's Guns, Kelton Contracting, T-Mat Speed Shop, of course, my nephew Trevor. Of course, it's always fun running with him and the guys. Got to thank Aaron with the FMS Rapid Graphics. Always does a killer job on the wrap. Got to thank you for the broadcast, Zach and them that put on the league. It's a good time on Sunday nights to come in here and do a little racing against some pretty good competition. And got to thank the wife for letting me do it. Of course, don't want to forget her. She gives me the time, and I guess that's about it.
Alrighty, Bobby. Always a pleasure talking to you. You have yourself a great rest of the night, and we'll catch you here on the flip side.
Yes, sir. You too.
Alrighty, that is our runner-up finisher. Now we head down to Victory Lane to talk to the man of the hour. That is the 151 or the 51 on the car. That is Jacob Laster. Jacob, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
I got you, Brett.
Alrighty, Jacob. I think we got to call you the closer or something because All-Star race, you come in late and you turn it on up. Here tonight, you do the exact same thing, Jacob. Tell us about this race, and man, how'd you have that speed in those last 10 laps?
I got a caution at the right time, and I was trying to save, really early, like I try to every race now after the tire wear update. But I just got a caution at the right time, and I started pushing around 30 to go, and I was still half a track away from any of the front runners. So I thought I'll probably just end up where I end up. And when the caution come out, I was able to get on the outside start, and then I was able to. Everybody was spinning tires and everything, so they didn't have much left. And then I just went to the bottom because it's the only thing open, and I didn't really think I'd get much of a run down there, but somehow or another it stuck enough that I was able to clear them. And then there at the end, I was pushed it. I didn't have hardly anything left, and so just like I said, fortunate the way it worked out. If it stays green, I probably maybe can get back to the top 10, maybe top 8. But with the caution, it definitely worked out in my favor. So just comes down to luck, man. Just for some reason the tire wear deal, this update, I've been trying to save what I can and be there at the end. And like I said, I didn't knock the right side of it off trying to save. Sometimes I do that, but I didn't do that, and was able to just stay consistent and keep the tires under me. But
yeah, that was a heck of a run. To put into perspective, everyone watching at home, Jacob, you almost went a lap down at one point. You were saving so much, but then coming away, like you said, getting the right time yellow, and then just, man, hooked up on the bottom. No one else could even think about running there. You just put it down there and walk around everyone like they're standing still.
Yeah, I was trying to. I was running. I would say 14's pretty consistent there at the very beginning, and they was running at least half a half a second to 6 tenths faster, and then it kind of then they was running like 13.8s and then 13.9s. Then they started running 14.0s, and I thought, well, if they're running 14.0s and they're only 2 seconds behind me, I should be able to maintain. And that's kind of how it worked out. But it's just product of the way, like I said, just luck the way it worked out. And got the caution at the right time, and considering how the night began, and I've been having some computer issues, I really didn't think it would work out like this. I told Brandon, I said, this computer crashes on me, I'm about to throw it out the house. But it didn't, and it held together, and like I said, just worked out.
Yeah, I was saying on the broadcast, your crew must have been throwing the kitchen sink at the sink because it definitely seemed like either computer issues or just setup issues. That something wasn't right on this car because, I mean, starting shotgun on the heat race and then having difficulties there and then the B main even. I was like, man, Laster's going to have a rough night here. But then all of a sudden you guys throw the kitchen sink at it, get some luck, and you park it down in victory lane after all of it.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out the setup. I was struggling in it, and just got frustrated and pulled off, and just told Brandon I'm just going to ride in the back and see how it works out. And I think, like I said, the only reason I had anything was just because I had tires. I mean, that was the only reason I was better than anybody else. And like I said, just the way it worked out. Pretty fortunate.
Yep, as Jacob, with this win, you close in on the gap a little bit to Trevor Manley. After tonight, I believe we have 3 more races. I mean, that's got to be, you guys start shotgun next week. That's going to be a tough one for you, but you got to be thinking, get as much points here, close it on up till our season finale, of course, at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah, like I said, man, I don't know if we can close the gap. Trevor, he's always really consistent. He's always going to be towards the front, and the only way that we have any chance is to try to win races we can, and just try to finish in front of him as much as we can. And so we'll see how it works out. I mean, starting at the back of USA it isn't terrible. I mean, it's big track, and plus it's going to be a shorter race, but I don't really know how tires are going to play in there. We'll have to do a little practicing and kind of see when we need to go, like we did, and see how it works out. We'll see if we can be there at the end again.
Yeah, hopefully, Jacob, as I assume you'll keep the same mottos, save, especially starting towards the back, and then charge when it counts. As Jacob, before we let you go and celebrate this victory here tonight for a points event, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank for this 51 car machine down in victory lane at Cedar Lake.
Just got to give a shout out to Team Hot Lap Heroes. All the guys in the race tonight, they're Hot Lap Hero guys. It looked like everybody finished in the top 5 that were Hot Lap Heroes, so that's awesome. And hats off to Brandon for just kind of keeping me balanced tonight. I was pretty frustrated after the heat race, so couldn't do it without his keeping me level-headed. But and then I got to give a shout out to 789 Designs wrap on the car, Max Green, the Sud Shop. Got to thank you guys for the broadcast as always. Brett do a hell of a job. And I got to thank Dave and Zach and the ones that do this league for us and give us a place to run, second to none. Got to give a shout out to the wife as always for taking care of the little one. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be able to come in here and do this.
Alrighty, awesome stuff, Jacob. Talking to you now in victory lane in the points race. Now, after the All-Star win, keeping this momentum, Jacob, you have yourself a great rest tonight, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you some more here in the future. You have yourself a great one, and continue to celebrate this win down in victory lane.
Appreciate it, Brett.
Alrighty, folks, that was Jacob Laster talking to us down in victory lane. A heck of a run from here tonight. He was all over the place, but ends up down in victory lane when it counts here, folks, as we now head over to our race results and get things wrapped on up. Jacob Laster in the 151 closes the points gap just a little bit. He picks up the win here tonight. Bobby Manley and the 3M will finish second, with Trevor Manley and the 13T rounding out the top 3. Blake Steele in the 11, another top 5 finish for this driver. He'll come home fourth, and Brandon Marlowe, our pole sitter, rounds out the top 5. Ron Hart with a strong run, one of the biggest movers coming from the back up into that 6th position. Brian Hacker will finish 7th. 8th going to Joseph Grandy in the 518. Then Stephen Hoffman in the 23 will be 9th. 10th is Aaron Kirby in the 91. 11th going to Cam Tucker, Tucker Holiday in 12th. 13th is Dave Payne, and Chuck Darling rounds out the field here tonight. So got to, of course, give a huge shout out to all the live viewers tuning on in here tonight. Be sure to tune in next week where we go either to Knoxville or USA, because I'm hearing both things. We'll be at one of those tracks, but we'll be live here once again at 9:30 here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Be sure to check out Turn 3 Racing Network throughout the week, as we have a lot of great broadcasts, a lot of great series to be watched, and of course, a lot of great racing action to be enjoyed. Everyone stay safe, have a good one, and we will catch you next week. I've been Brett the Jet, and I just flew by you. Have a good one.